Hey kids, Johnny Herrmann here. It is mid-July and it is hot, it is humid, it is buggy, so bear with me. I'm on the north end of my home property here in west central Wisconsin, the Chippewa Falls area. And so today I'm going to get my mock scrape started here. I've got a lone wolf set right behind me, about 15 yards. I started this mock scrape last year, had a picture of a really nice 11 pointer a couple of times up here on the top. So today we're going to start that mock scrape, put a stealth cam on it so that we can see what we got here. Hopefully we get a nice inventory of our bucks here on the home property, and then at the end I'm going to climb up in that lone wolf set and make sure that my shooting lanes are all cleared up. So tag along with me and I'll show you guys how I do it. Our first task of the day is to start this mock scrape out here. So like I said, I started it last summer, I guess. And we did get a couple of pictures of some good bucks cruising this edge of this bedding to the south of me, these open hardwoods with a bunch of acorns to the north of me here. So I don't have any of my dripper right now, so we're just going to use, I always just use a claw tool if I've got access to one, just to break the ground up nice and good. And then we're going to use two different kinds of scrape generators. This is one of them is a synthetic and one of them is a natural. So I happen to have both. I'm going to use both on this scrape starting out until I get my dripper up. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. So the key to this mock scrape right up here is I did not have a licking branch. There was nothing even remotely close to a licking branch, anything overhead here. There was a runway that comes up along this thick stuff and pops over this top, drops back down along the thick stuff down to the east of me here. But what I did was I took a rope, I took this little maple tree and I roped it up to this next little maple tree so that this thing sits at an angle, and it gives me a beautiful licking branch situation with almost a horizontal tree going off of here. So theoretically these bucks can come up and they can scrape on the end of this thing, or they can scrape all the way down along it. So I've really got about 15 feet of scrapable area here, which again sits roughly 15 to 20 yards out in front of my lone wolf set behind me. So obviously you guys have all been around scrape locations, and everything revolves around the licking branch. So I think I've got a pretty good situation here. We had some bucks work it last year. Everything looks good again, so we're just gonna make this mock scrape right on the end of it where I've got these multiple licking branches, and we should be set up pretty good. All right, the next part of my program. So we've got our mock scrape right here. The next trick is to find yourself the perfect camera tree. Up here it's fairly open, lots of trees, lots of hardwoods. It's not that big of an issue up here. Obviously in certain places it's tougher, but what I always try to do is I try to get something that's facing generally north. So you want the camera on the south end of where you're trying to get pictures. So right now I'm going to have this camera on this little maple tree right here, and I'm going to be facing northeast with the camera, and I've got about 15 feet to the mock scrape. So you don't want to have it too far away, you don't want to have it too close. 15 or 20 feet, 25 feet maybe at the max. And then I always just try to keep it level. Maybe waist to chest level, depending on what you got for a tree, what you got for angles and whatnot. The next thing is pretty important, and I see a lot of people not doing this step. I know it's mid-July and it's not that big of a deal. I'm not as worried about scent control as what I would normally be, but I still have my lacrosse boots on. I sprayed my hands down before I came up here with a scent control product, and now I'm going to spray this strapping really good, because the last thing that you want to have happen is the first encounter that this big buck's going to have with this mock scrape, and then have a old scented up strap that's been sitting in your basement for the last 6 months, and have them get a big whiff of human scent and get a negative reaction to this mock scrape site. So we're gonna try to keep this as scent free as we can to a degree. So we're gonna spray this strap down really good and make sure that we don't leave any human scent up here. It's just gonna be all deer scent. And the last thing that you want to do, we've all done it, right? You get out, you're all happy, you got your mock scrape made, you got your camera up, you get back to your house and you're like, did I turn that camera on? Man, you always turn your camera on, and I'll always stay in front of that camera until it takes a picture of me. And at least then I know that when I left it, it's working, right? I've got my hunter safety system vest on. I cannot stress it enough, guys. Always wear your hunter safety system vest. Always tie into your lifeline. Always be tied in. You never ever know when something bad's gonna happen. One of your steps gives out, or your stand gives out, or something chewed through one of your straps since last fall. Just safety. That's the number one thing when you're off the ground. So we're gonna go over, climb up that stand. It's not very brushy in here, so I'm not expecting to have to do much cutting, but we're gonna take a look and make sure that we got it all set up, and then we're gonna be out of here. So I'm excited. Hunting season's almost here, baby.
Well, good morning. Today is July 30th. It is a beautiful morning here in Minnesota. I have George and Fred, my two sons, with me. We are heading into Pepin County to do some, what are we going to do today, guys? Well, first we're going to have a little fun. Second, we're going to check our trail cameras that I put up about 3 weeks ago. And then third, we're probably going to try to do a mock scrape project and teach these boys a little bit about deer scent and kind of what a scrape looks like, and set it up. So that's the plan. It's about 7 a.m. now. We got about an hour, and then we should be there and ready to rock. So what's left to say, guys? What was that? Bow hunt or die. All right, well, here we are. We are at the site of my new stand. I set up a lone wolf here right over my shoulder. And what we're doing now is we're actually setting up this edge of this field that's just a big hay field. There's a lot of these branches and things that are hanging out and hanging down that make for great scrape material. What we're going to do is try to concentrate those branches around this one spot where I have a great shooting lane. So that's the goal for today. We're going to cut down some branches and make it work. Let's see what we can get done. All right, there you go, some hard work. Now I just need to trim out my shooting lane, but you can see here I've cleared out all the hanging branches this way, most of the hanging branches behind me, and I've left 5 or 6 different licking branches here, and my stand is tucked away back over there. This is the exact site of where I actually hunted on the other side of this field last year in October, and I had several different bucks that I saw, including one giant. Work this edge and do a couple of scrapes right in here. So the thought process is, on a north wind, I can slip in, hunt here, overlook this field, and hopefully get some deer to cruise in and to pass right by my stand. So I'm gonna get this lane trimmed up. I'll give you a view from up above, and then we'll check a few more cameras. Looking awesome. All right, so This is that mock scrape I just made, or scrape setup. So hopefully they'll be scraping right there come October. I got a great view out in front of me for any crossing deer all the way, and I got a nice entrance kind of behind me. So hopefully this whole hillside will be available to me. I'd like to get a shot through here, but it looks like it might be a little tight. So I'm going to focus my efforts on clearing out a shooting lane here as best I can. So I'm going to go work on that now and open this up and hopefully make it happen.
Welcome to the Bow Hunter Dive game.
Okay, well,
Bow Hunter over time. Bow Hunter Dive.
what, George?
Bow Hunter Dive. Yeah, that's what I said. Bow Hunter Dive. Yes.
Here we are, a couple of tired hikers with me. We had a lot of fun this morning hiking around, and actually it was just great to get the kids out and check a few trail cameras. We also learned a little bit about scrapes and did some work to actually prep a spot where I'm going to hunt over a scrape this fall, clearing out all that other places for a buck to scrape and making basically right out in front of my stand the only option. So gonna try that this year. We'll see if it works. Mostly had a little fun, caught a couple frogs along the way, which is pretty cool. And now the only thing that's left to say is what?
Bow Hunter Dive. Bow Hunter Dive.
Yeah, baby. All right, that's it for now. See ya.
Hold on, Ma.
What's the thing we say?
Thank you, dear. We love you. Thank you. Thank you, dear. And the Bow Hunter Dive.
All right, see ya.